Welcome back to this week's vlog. My name's Ethan, the single conscious dad, and I thank you so much for being here. This week was special because Lincoln turned 2 years old. And not only did Lincoln turn 2 years old, but his whole birthday day, his whole story on how that unfolded and what happened on his day, it was in shambles, and it was going to end up a tragedy and a huge mistake and something I would have regretted for most of my life, seriously. And luckily, we were fortunate enough to have it turn into this beautiful moment and beautiful experience that we got to share. And you're like, whoa, what happened, E? What happened? I'll share what happened. I'll share the story of how his day unfolded. So we'll start by saying that I built this expectation. And I think I feel a lot of pressure as a parent to get it right. To have everything go perfect and amazing, especially birthday parties. I don't know where that came from, but I wanted it to be so perfect. Like everyone was there to celebrate him, to love on him, to appreciate him. I wanted there to be a cake. I wanted there to be the candles. And I just wanted it to be this moment of love, appreciation, and acknowledgement for Lincoln turning 2, so that he knows that he's special. And so I built this expectation that it was going to be at my place, that my parents were going to show up, that my sister and brother-in-law would show up, that Kass was going to show up and she was going to bring a cake. And that's the picture that I had. It was going to be in my space. And so the night before, this is where things start to fall apart. The night before, I get a text message from my mom saying that she doesn't want to come out to my space, my place. It's too much of a drive. And they're too busy with what's going on at the shop and where they work. And a part of me was like, oh, dang, like I didn't want it to go this way. I wanted it to be out here for specific reasons. And like they don't want to come anymore. So I was like, okay, whatever, like let's do it at your place. Let's make it happen. We'll just do it then. And that sounds good to me. And so the next day we wake up, it's Lincoln's birthday, and we start by like celebrating. We have Jim come out, all that kind of stuff. And we start with breakfast. Everything's going good. And the clock ticks until the party. We decided that it was going to be at 4 o'clock. And the clock clicks closer to 4 o'clock. And it's about 3:15. And I just clued in that I forgot to send a message to Cassidy, the mother of Lincoln, that the party was going to be at 4 o'clock. Like she had no idea when the party was going to be. She expected it to be later in the evening. And she was the one who was bringing the cake. And I forgot to text her. Like I forgot to text the mother of my son on his 2nd birthday that the party was going to be at 4. And that's a big moment. For co-parents, like it's big to not, like those are huge moments that we don't get back. And even you, we don't get those moments back. Our birthdays, we don't get them back. It's just a one-time thing. You get to only turn 2 once. And I forgot to text her. What the heck is up with that, right? And so I texted her at 3:15. I literally sent her a message. I think I have it. I was like, what did it say? It was like, hey Kass, the party's at 4 o'clock. I hope you can make it. ... And I didn't say I'm sorry. I didn't say anything along the lines. I just said the party's at 4. I hope you can make it. ... And so 4 o'clock rolls around. We hop in the car and we head on over to my parents' place to celebrate his 2nd birthday. And we get in. My brother-in-law, my sister are there. My niece is there as well. James, Lincoln's little cousin. My mom's there. I find out as well that my dad's not going to be able to make it because he ended up getting super busy. And this is the 2nd year that he's missed his birthday party. And a part of me was pretty disappointed in that. And now I've also haven't heard back from Kass as well. And Kass was supposed to bring the cake. And so I'm sitting here at this birthday party with my mom, my sister, my brother-in-law, their cousin, and Lincoln. And Lincoln's not really he's not really into eating food and all that kind of stuff. He just kind of like wants to be on his own and do his own thing. So he's not having a good time. And I could tell that like I was incredibly disappointed with how it was turning out. I was incredibly disappointed with my dad not showing up, with it changing places, and Kass not being there. Because she was going to bring a cake and I was looking forward to that celebration. And so I wasn't really feeling it. No one was really feeling it. It was kind of like a lull. And a part of me was like, damn, E, damn, like you messed up. As in like you messed up the birthday. It's not everything that it's supposed to be. And I was just like, a thought came in my mind. It was like, how can I make this the best birthday for Lincoln yet? And so I decided, I was like, I'm gonna go to Safeway, I'm gonna pick up cupcakes, I'm gonna pick up a cake, I'm gonna pick up whatever it is, I'm gonna pick up candles, we're gonna light these things, and we're gonna like go home and we're gonna make this the best birthday that I possibly can with Lincoln. And so Kass didn't show up, and we get ready to leave, and we're in the car, and I get a text message from Kass, and it's just like, and at first I was like, oh, what the hell? Like, don't me. You're the one who didn't show up to my son's second birthday, yo. You're the one who didn't show up. And I wanted to blame her. And I was blaming her. That's all honesty. Like, I was literally blaming her for not showing up. I was like, whatever, like, let's go to Safeway and we're gonna make this happen. And for some reason, I started driving to the Safeway that's closer to where she lives, which is on the other side of town for me. And I was like, my ego came up and it was like, what the heck am I doing? Like, let's just drive the Safeway that's closer to me, make it easier for me. Let's get the thing and let's head out of town and let's get out there. And I think that I was driving that way because I wanted to hope that Kass would be able to see Lincoln on his second birthday, because I wouldn't want to give that moment away. I wouldn't want to miss that moment for him. And so I was like, no, screw that. We're going to drive this Safeway that's closer. So I started driving the Safeway closer, and Kass, I think I ended up calling Kass, or she ended up calling me, whatever. And we're on the phone, and it was just like, it was dead silence. Like, there was nothing happening. I was just like, yeah, so like, what's happening? She's like, what do you mean, what's happening? I was like, well, you didn't show up to his birthday party. And she's like, you texted me 45 minutes prior to. And she starts like, playing the blame game, and I'm playing the blame game right back. I'm like blaming her for not showing up, for not being there, and then we ended up getting heated, and like, she's yelling, I'm yelling. It's like, okay, I'm like, no, I can't do this. Hang up the phone. And so I hang up the phone. I'm like, oh yeah, I'm gonna go get those cupcakes, yo. And we're gonna head back to my place. We're gonna make this the best thing ever, and I'm gonna stick it to her. And so I literally remember like driving and pulling into Safeway. As I'm pulling into Safeway, I look at the gas station. And Kass is at that gas station at the Safeway that it was way on the way for her. She's there filling up her car. I was like, no way. I was like, out of all the places you could be right now, Kass, you're here. And then the question popped in my mind. I was like, what? Like, why? Like, why is she here right now? And then there's something that landed. It's like, because there's something for you to learn, Ethan. There's something here for you to step into. There's a greater part of you that you get to suck up and step into and be with. I was like, yeah, but I don't want to. I don't want to do that stuff. And so I was like, I pull in and I sit down and I park in a place where I can see Kass in the rearview mirror. I was like, okay, she's gonna obviously, like, as soon as she's done filling up, she's gonna give me a call. And so I was right. And I see in my rearview mirror that she comes and she parks in the Safeway parking lot where I could see her in my rearview mirror. She doesn't even know that I'm in the same parking lot as her. Like, how crazy and how much of a coincidence is it that she parks just directly across where I can see her in my mirror? Out of all the places she could be and I could be, we're in the same parking lot, having the same argument, all that kind of stuff. And so she calls me. And she starts like yelling at me already, and she's like playing the blame game, and I'm just like, hey, it's your fault. And I ended up finding that she was like slept in because she wasn't feeling well. I was like, well, you didn't have to go to sleep. You could have been there. You could have done all this stuff. Like, what the hell? It's like, I'm not like, and we just like, we fought, and I was just like, I'm done with this. I'm going home, done. And I hung up on her. And literally, it's like in that moment, I'm like, I am for sure taking Lincoln. We're going that Safeway. We're gonna get those candles. We're gonna get the cupcakes. We're gonna head home, and we're gonna skip you seeing Kass, and we're gonna go celebrate this birthday party. I'm gonna stick it to you. And there was that voice that was like, do it, do it, do it, do it, do it. And then there was this little voice that was like, E. Like, that's what you get to learn, bro. That's what you get to learn. This is what you get to learn. You get to suck up the part of you that is upset and blaming her. And you get to admit that you made a huge mistake by texting her at 3:15 that the party's at 4. Because if you would have sent her the text earlier in the day, she would have made it at 4. She would have been there no matter what. And I found out that she spent 4 or 5 hours baking a cake for Lincoln. Like baking a homemade cake for Lincoln. She spent that time making it for him, for his birthday, for that time. And so it's incredibly special for her. And the part of me is like, how can you possibly put someone through that? Just because the part of you wants to stick it to her, wants to go into Safeway, pick up the candles and head out of town and stick it to her and make sure that you're right and stay in that, even though you're not right. I wasn't right. I texted her at 3:15 to let her know that the party was at 4. That's a huge mistake. But yet I wasn't willing to own it. I wanted to blame her for why she wasn't there. And so I had these two voices of like, you can either grab Lincoln out of your car seat and you can go on over to her car. You can open her door and you can apologize to her. And you can say that you're sorry for not texting her and you can make this right. And then there was this other voice that was like, or you can go Safeway, stick it to her, make sure that you stay right and then prove that you were right and not give her that experience, not let her see her son on her second birthday, just stick it to her. Literally, I had that argument. And I took a deep breath. And I knew what I had to do. I had to go into Safeway, I'm just kidding, I didn't go down that path. I got Lincoln out of the car. I walked on over to her car. I opened the door. She was crying. I made her cry. And I was gonna deprive her of seeing her son. Like that is that's like a part of me is almost ashamed of what I did. Like she was crying. And I felt so bad. And I looked at her and I was like, I'm so sorry. How can we make this right? And she like was crying. She's like saying that like life is hard and it is. Like everyone's life is hard and there's so much going on. And I was like, okay, we can either go back to my parents' place and do this cake lighting thing. We can either go back to like your place, we can do it outside, we can do it wherever. And I was coming up with like 6 different options. She shut them all down because she's still in that space. And finally I was like, she shut down her option because it was too big of a mess, chaotic, because she spent all this time baking. It was still a gong show, and it was this beautiful cake. Oh my gosh. And I looked at her, I was like, okay, I'm gonna give you 5 minutes to go ahead, clean up your place, get that all organized, and then we'll come over and we'll do the birthday cake, we'll celebrate that, and we can hang out and give you that experience of seeing your son on his second birthday. Because that's what I wanted too. Like I didn't want to deprive her of that. And so that's what we agreed upon. And so then afterwards, we agreed that like that's how the game plan was gonna go. So I walked to the Safeway, I got the cupcakes and I got the candles. And I scooted my way back to Kass's place. And we ended up creating this beautiful moment together. And I found out that like Kass went out as well and got him this wicked scooter that you guys are gonna see. Like he was loving this scooter and loves like scooting on it and having so much fun on it. And so that was cool. Where's Mama? Yeah, go race to Mama. Okay, I'll race you to Mama. I'll race you to Mama. Go. 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 Yeah, you're getting the hang of it, huh? Getting the hang of it.
Oh, big boy.
We got to like celebrate his birthday. And so I took the cake, and while they're playing with the scooter in the hallway, I took the cake inside and I lit the candles and I went and hid in the bathroom and I told Kass that like, hey, like let's do this, let's go, like it's time, like let's celebrate, let's sing Lincoln happy birthday together, let's make this moment beautiful. And so I was like, come in the washroom. They like walk in. I was like, come in the washroom. So Kass comes in the washroom and then we step out and Lincoln's just like in the floor and we just start singing happy birthday to him. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Lincoln. Happy birthday to you.
You gonna blow it out? Can you blow? Oh, blow. Yeah, ready?
Yeah,
good.
close, keep going.
Blow.
Yeah, blow, Lincoln. Lincoln.
Yeah, blow on him. Oh,
Yeah, and this one?
Again. Yeah, get the other one. That one.
There's one more there.
One more.
Blow.
Woo!
Oh, happy birthday.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got both of them up. That moment was one of the most beautiful moments I've had in my life. And it was because I admitted that I was wrong. I put my ego aside, the part of me that wanted to stick it to her, the part of me that wanted to be right. I was able to let that go, admit that I made a huge mistake and that I'm sorry for it. And to be able to share that experience with her and know that like how much that meant to Lincoln and how much that meant to her and how much that meant to me. Like that is absolutely beautiful. beautiful. It almost makes me cry thinking about it. Because never in my right mind would I ever want to cause that much hurt or that much pain in Kass. And especially deprive her of seeing her son on his 2nd birthday. That's a huge, huge moment. It was really this journey of like something so broken, something in shambles, something that could have went extremely bad. Like if I walked into Safeway and I bought those cupcakes and candles and and just went home, like I would have woken up with so much regret. And there would have been so much animosity and so much adversity and so much tension between Kass and I for that moment that it probably would have been a huge regret for me and would have caused a lot of problems down the road. And instead, we decided to create something beautiful out of a day that was going to the shiznits, that was going and expected to be kind of like broken. And I thought that that was so beautiful that I had to share. That was a story about how something going so wrong can become so right. And I just wanted to say, like, thank you to Kass for being such an incredible mother to Lincoln. She does such a wonderful job, and to see her bake that cake and to see like how much that moment meant to her, like that's incredible. Like she cares so deeply about Lincoln, and that is so beautiful to see. And I'm proud of myself. Like I'm proud of myself for making that decision. For making the decision to put my ego aside. To choose love. To choose to say sorry and apologize. To choose what's right. Because like I said, it would have been a moment that I would have really, really regretted. And so I hope that from this video, you can make some of those choices as well. Thank you for being here. Thank you for watching. Thank you for being at this point with me. It means a lot to me. And I hope that I added value to you. And I know that I added value to you if you're still here watching. And as always, I ask just a couple of things. That you subscribe by clicking that big old red button below. Support the channel, support the message, support our journey. That you like, and if anything resonated with you deeply, and if anything landed for you, you just felt it. Like drop that below in the comments below. Like let me know. I'd love to hear from you and I want to hear what you have to say. So with that, so much love from Lincoln and I hope that you have a wonderful day, night, evening, whenever you're watching this. I hope that it is beautiful.
Come on. Lincoln.